Hello, everybody. Miss Debbie here. Thanks for visiting me tonight. Um, it's a cold night, isn't it? And it's a long night, and the nights are still long, and the days are short. But we can snuggle up with good books and, and bright lights. So let's get started with our bedtime stories. Hello, everybody. How are you? How are you? How are you? Hello, everybody. How are you? How are you today? I hope you had a great day. Every day should be a good day. That can send you into a good night's sleep at night. This is Bedtime Stories. By the way, this is our last bedtime story for December, and we'll start up again in January, the second week, so probably around the 13th or something like that. But you can always get on this link and look at past story times. You'll find my story times and Miss Kathy's story times, and even some of Samantha's story times. So um, yeah, there's plenty to choose from. So don't be a stranger to our virtual platform. So, did you get out and about today? Maybe mommy took you to the babysitter so she could do some shopping, or maybe she had to go to work for a little while. Sometimes my mommy takes me over to my friend's house to play. Sometimes she's gone a little while, and sometimes she's gone all day. But my mommy comes back, my mommy comes back, my mommy comes back to get me. My mommy comes back, she always comes back, she never would forget me. So I am in the beautiful room in the library. There's a couple of minions visiting behind me. When you come for story time, you can visit with them as well. So I hope you do come for story time. But again, we'll be starting up in January, so we'll take a nice holiday winter break. So let's do this is a good one to do in your bed because it kind of exercises your fingers before you're ready to go to sleep. Called Where is Thumpkin? So we make our fists, put them in our lap. Where is Thumpkin? Where is Thumpkin? Here I am. Here I am. How are you today, sir? Very well, I thank you. Run away, run away. Where is Pointer? Where is Pointer? Here I am. Here I am. How are you today, sir? Very well, I thank you. Run away, run away. Where is Tall Lady? Where is Tall Lady? Here I am. Here I am. How are you today, ma'am? Very well, I thank you. Stride away, stride away. Where is Ringman? Where is Ringman? Here I am. Here I am. How are you today, sir? Very well, I thank you. Run away, run away. Where is Pinky? Where is Pinky? Here I am. Here I am. How are you today, dude? Very well, I thank you. Skip away, skip away. So shake everything out. That feels good. I'm shaking my hands, but it really feels good to shake my whole arm carriage. All right, play the piano, do one of these, rub your hands. That's good. Our hands worked very hard today. And tonight, they're going to be laying around a lot, so it's good to give them a little exercise before you go to sleep. Okay, so as we get ready for bed, if you haven't gotten into your jammies yet, maybe you'll take a minute to get ready for bed, right? This is the way we wash our face, wash our face, wash our face. This is the way we wash our face before we go to bed. This is the way we brush our teeth, brush our teeth, brush our teeth. This is the way we brush our teeth before we go to bed. This is the way we comb our hair, comb our hair, comb our hair. This is the way we comb our hair before we go to bed. This is the way we blow a kiss. Blow a kiss, blow a kiss. This is the way we blow a kiss before we go to bed. Good job, everyone. Oh, I'm taking my jacket off. I sit in the library and sometimes it's quite cold in here. There, that's better. Okay, so I have 4 books tonight, 4 stories. This first one is called Lost and Found by Oliver Jeffers. I hope when you come to the library sometime you'll look for the books by Oliver Jeffers. You can find them in the picture books section, which means E under Jeffers. He's a great illustrator and has these wonderful, heartwarming stories to tell. So he writes the books and he um, illustrates them too. That means he draws the pictures. Once there was a boy who found a penguin at his door. My, my. The boy didn't know where the penguin had come from, and it began to follow him everywhere. The penguin looked sad, and the boy thought it must be lost. So the boy decided to help the penguin find its way home. He checked in the lost and found office, but no one was missing a penguin. And the man at the lost and found office is a little bit upset on seeing the penguin. The boy asked some birds if they knew where the penguin had come from, but the birds ignored him. Some birds are like that. Do birds ignore you? The boy asked his duck. He asked his rubber ducky, but the duck floated away. He didn't know either. Do you have a rubber ducky in your bathtub? That night, the boy couldn't sleep for disappointment. He wanted to help the penguin, but he wasn't sure how. So if you look at this picture, it's nighttime, the stars are out, the moon is out, and there's one light on in the boy's bedroom. I hope you never have nights where you can't sleep. The next morning, he discovered that penguins come from the South Pole. But how could he get there? He ran down to the harbor and asked a big ship to take them to the South Pole. But his voice was much too small to be heard over the ship's horn. Look at how little and tiny that boy and penguin are. Did you ever hear a ship's horn? Oh my, it goes like this. Whoa. Very, very loud. Together, the boy decided, he and the penguin would row to the South Pole. So the boy took his rowboat out and tested it for size and strength. He told stories to the penguin to help pass the time. The penguin's measuring the boat. Then they packed everything they would need. They packed an umbrella, and the penguin is holding the boy's hat. And then they pushed the rowboat out to sea. They rowed south for many days. Look at those waves. And many nights. There was lots of time for stories, and the penguin listened to every one, so the boy would always tell another. They floated through good weather and bad. That's a little scary. When the waves were as big as mountains, the penguins under the umbrella, and the boy put his hat on. Until finally they came to the South Pole. All iceberg. The boy was delighted, but the penguin said nothing. Suddenly it looked sad again as the boy helped it out of the boat. Aww. Then the boy said goodbye. Goodbye, penguin, and floated away. When he looked back, the penguin was still there, but it looked sadder than ever. It felt strange for the boy to be on his own. There was no point in telling stories now, because there was no one to listen except the wind and the waves. Instead, he just did a lot of thinking. And the more he thought, the more he realized he had made a big mistake. The penguin hadn't been lost, it had just been lonely. Quickly, he turned the boat around and rowed back to the South Pole as fast as he could. But see, as he's rowing the rowboat one way, the penguin is in the umbrella floating the other way, so they didn't even see each other. At last, the boy reached the pole again, but where was the penguin? The boy searched and searched, but he was nowhere to be found. He looked for him, he called for him, and he looked through the eyeglass for him. Sadly, the boy set off for home. But then the boy saw something in the water ahead of him. Closer and closer he got. What is it? Until he could see the penguin in a little umbrella boat. Aww. Now they're friends forever. And so the boy and his friend went home together, talking of wonderful things all the way. And look how special. They're accompanied by a pod of whales, a bunch of whales, if you will. So there's the boy leaning against the side of the boat, and the penguin is under the umbrella using it as a sun protector. Isn't that a great story called Lost and Found by Oliver Jeffers? Okay, so it's getting very chilly in here. Day is done, gone the sun, from the land, from the hills, from the sky. All is well, safely rest. Sleep is nigh. Sleep is coming. The Sandman comes in and puts little pieces of sand in your eyes to make you want to close them. And in the morning when you wake up, don't you rub your eyes to get the sand out? Think of it tomorrow morning when you get up. You'll see. Skidamarinka-dink-a-dink, skidamarinka-doo. I love you. Skidamarinka-dink-a-dink, skidamarinka-doo. I love you. I love you in the morning and in the afternoon. I love you in the evening and underneath the moon. Oh, skidamarinka-dink-a-dink, skidamarinka-doo. I love you. Cha-cha-cha. Now I have another story. You're going to like this one too. Will's New Cap by Olaf and Lena Landstrom. Now this is a new book for me. I'd never read it. But Miss Lizzie, she'd read it. She remembers this book from a long time ago. You can get this book at your favorite library. Will's New Cap. By the way, I have a cap too. Maybe you have a cap too, right? Mine says, "May the forest be with you," because I love the forest, right? And see, when you have a cap, it's good to keep the sun out of your eyes and off your face. It keeps your head warm a little bit if you need it. And it could keep the raindrops off of your glasses. Will's New Cap. Will gets a new cap with a visor. His mommy gave it to him. Always fun to have a little surprise. He goes outside right away. By the way, Will lives in an apartment building, so things look a little bit different than if he lived in a house. John, Peter, Karen, and Susan are playing in the yard. So he came out of the door of the apartment building and they play in the yard that happens to be near the dumpster garbage cans. It's just the way it goes if you live in the city. And they all want to try on Will's new cap. Friends like to share. Mama asked Will to buy a newspaper. She gives him the wallet out the window of the apartment. The sun is shining, but not in Will's eyes. A visor is really practical. And good looking. He looks good in it, doesn't he? Yes. Have you heard the good news? I am wearing a new hat. Will buys the newspaper from the corner store. And now it's raining. Oh, phooey. No problem. The visor protects him. Now it's pouring. Will tucks the paper under his sweater to keep dry, and he runs. Puddles are forming. The visor begins to wilt in the rain, and Will can't see. Ouch! He tripped on the sidewalk curb, and the mommy's wallet went flying, and the money went flying out. Oh no, he scraped his knee and it has blood on it. Will limps all the way home. He has to ring the doorbell to his apartment. He's soaking wet. Now he can cry. Aw, Mommy, everything's wrong. I'm wet. I skinned my knee. My hat is all soggy. He gets a bandage on his knee and a soda. And Mommy hangs up his wet clothes. Mommy irons the visor dry. She puts it between the pages of the newspaper and she irons it. And by the way, that is a pretty nifty trick because when you do that, the wet steams out of the visor and is absorbed into the newspaper. It's a pretty neat trick. But what now? Uh-oh. Mommy sees something. Something has happened. The newspaper print has stuck to the visor. Has Will's new cap been ruined? Not at all. It's as good as new. The visor is nice and stiff, and the newsprint that got ironed off says sport. Sporty. Sport is a good nickname for a little boy. In fact, I used to call my son Sporty when he was a little boy. Sporty. And the cap is almost better than before. The end. So come and get this book from your library where you can look at these sweet pictures and enjoy the story. I like my hat. I might have to wear it a lot. I never used to wear it. All righty. It's getting to be time for Lily White's party. Yeah, so I have 2 holiday books to share because it is the holiday season. And this is written by Jane Yolen and illustrated by Mark Teague. It's part of a series That's called How Do Dinosaurs Whatever. This is called How Do Dinosaurs Say Happy Hanukkah? You'll find many of these books in our library, and they're under E for picture book and Yol for Yolan. And this one happens to be in the holidays section. How do dinosaurs say Happy Hanukkah? Here on this front page, they're playing the dreidel game. Do you play the dreidel game? I love to spin the dreidel. All these dinosaurs in these books have regular, normal-looking parents, and they're huge, colorful dinosaurs. Does a dinosaur act up on Hanukkah nights when Mama comes in with the holiday lights? Does he make faces and stuff like that? Does he fidget and fuss through the candlelight prayer? Mama and Daddy are praying. Does he blow out the candles when no one is there? Oh, that's not good. Does he peek at the presents stashed under Dad's bed? Does he write his own name on each gift card instead? Ooh, that's not a good thing. That's a bad little dinosaur. And the very next day, does he grab up the gelt? Oh, that chocolate candy coin. Squeezing the candy coins until they all melt? Ew, there's nothing worse than squished chocolate. Does he snatch away dreidels so no one else plays? Does he do this for each of the 8 festive days? And here's his parents saying, now you cut that out. You behave. No, a dinosaur doesn't behave that way. He sings every prayer. He takes turns with the dreidel and remembers to share. He eats up his latkes, helps clear away dishes, gives Bubby and Zeta big Hanukkah kisses. Each time he's in bed for 8 nights, hear him snore. Happy Hanukkah, you good little dinosaur. What's he doing here? And here at the end papers, you can see all of the dinosaurs that were featured in this book. I can't say the name of all of them, but you can. So come in and borrow this book and enjoy it. All righty. Go hippity hop to bed. What's that you say? You'd rather stay up instead? When mother says must, there's nothing but just. Go hippity hop to bed. So our last story tonight is called Tiny Reindeer by Chris Naylor Ballesteros. And here's the tiny reindeer standing at the feet of the bigger reindeer. And here's a little girl mailing a letter in the mailbox. Did you ever mail a letter to Santa Claus? Or did you ever mail a letter to anybody? People like to get letters as well as give them. Tiny reindeer. Tiny reindeer was just like any other reindeer, but with one big difference. He was very, very tiny. He wasn't just smaller than the others, he felt different too, and never more so than at one particular time of year, Christmas time. Now look at that bowl full of carrots. They're too big for tiny reindeer. And look at how big the other reindeer are compared to him. By the way, sometimes you hear about reindeer hooves. This is a hoof, one hoof or two hooves. That's the kind of feet that reindeers have. As Christmas came ever nearer, the big, stamping, snorting reindeer were busy helping Santa get ready for the most important night of the year. Ho, 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 let's get to it. There are jobs to be done, boomed Santa as he fed his herd. There's the carrots in the bowl again. Ho, ho, humph, sighed Tiny Reindeer. I wish there was a job that I could do, even a tiny one. Every year, Tiny Reindeer tried very hard to find a way to help. But whatever he did went wrong. He got tangled in the reins and harnesses. He fell into the water bowls, and he had to be rescued from the sticky tape when he tried to wrap the presents. On the day before Christmas Eve, Santa spoke to Tiny Reindeer. Why don't you have a look in the mail room? You might be able to help there, he suggested kindly. There's one last little pile of children's letters to sort out. Tiny Reindeer wasn't so sure. A little pile? Tiny ended up squashed under an enormous mess of mixed up Christmas letters. But as he struggled to wriggle free, a letter with a reindeer drawn on it caught his eye. It was from a little girl. Maybe this one's for me, he said. And there's the little reindeer, and there's the letter from the little girl. And Santa's watching, because Santa knows. Against all the rules, Tiny sneaked it away with him to his quiet little corner of the stables and read it. And he came up with a plan. And the letter said, Dear Santa, there is just one thing in all the world, and it is a tiny reindeer I would like to have for Christmas, to go with my tiny wooden sleigh. It's a special wooden sleigh because my grandpa made it for me. He wanted to make a reindeer too, but he couldn't in the end, so my sleigh won't fly anywhere. I know reindeer are very big, but I only need a very tiny one, like you, Santa, and your big reindeers. Thank you, Santa. Lots and lots of love. Love, the little girl. Throughout the long and snowy night, Santa's sleigh flew across. I think I missed a page. Here we go. The next morning, everyone was busy getting ready for takeoff. And as nighttime fell, Santa took the reins of his magnificent sleigh, harnessing the puffing reindeer for the long journey ahead. And here they are coming out of the barn. And nobody noticed a tiny passenger leaping into a hiding place on the back of Santa's sleigh. A secret voyager on a special mission. Isn't he cute? Throughout the long and snowy night, Santa's sleigh flew across the sky, crossing oceans and covering continents. Tiny reindeer stayed hidden until finally the moment he'd waited for had arrived. He took a deep breath and leapt from the sleigh into the freezing air as Santa and his galloping herd disappeared into the snowy darkness. Look at Santa's sleigh. It's got magical sled runners, like stars coming out of his sled runners. And look at Santa. He sees the little reindeer jump out. From a bag on Tiny Reindeer's back ballooned a perfectly sized paper parachute made from the little girl's letter. He aimed for the chimney of one particular house. Oh, he's aiming for the chimney, and there's his homemade parachute. And whoosh! He plunged through the hole, tumbling into the fireplace below. No fire in that fireplace because they're waiting for Santa. After climbing out, he tiptoed towards an open door, which led to a hallway and an enormous staircase. Oh no, thought Tiny Reindeer. The stairs were far too big for him. Tired and cold, he couldn't climb the first one, let alone all the others. And he didn't even know if he had landed in the right house. As he lowered his head and tears came to his eyes, Tiny Reindeer began to wonder if he'd made a very big mistake. Suddenly there was a noise in the room behind him. A crash and a bash, a huffing and puffing, and then footsteps moving across the floor. Tiny Reindeer tried to hide in the shadows, keeping quiet and still. But a huge figure stepped into the hallway and looked straight down at him. Santa! Good thing I was keeping an eye on you, Tiny Reindeer, he whispered. It looks like you could do with some help. Santa carefully took off the paper parachute and folded it into his coat pocket. Then, dusting off the soot and dirt, he carried Tiny Reindeer upstairs to a bedroom where a little girl was fast asleep. A beautiful tiny wooden sleigh sat right beside her. She didn't hear the door open, nor did she see Santa tiptoe across the floor. She didn't even stir when Tiny Reindeer leaped softly onto her pillow. Goodbye, my little friend. I must be on my way, Santa whispered. I'll try to drop in and see you next year. And then he was gone. And here's Santa bringing in the tiny reindeer to the sleeping girl. Tiny Reindeer settled down, warm and cozy on the pillow. Exhausted after his adventure, he wondered what Christmas morning might bring, until eventually he yawned and closed his eyes. The little girl remained fast asleep, dreaming excitedly of a tiny sleigh and a tiny reindeer. My tiny reindeer, she cried out when she woke on Christmas morning. Tiny stood proudly on the little girl's hands and knew he had finally found where he belonged. And with the most beautiful sleigh he'd ever seen, handmade to fit him perfectly. His plan had worked with just a tiny bit of help from Santa. And here they are going out to play on Christmas morning. Mommy and Daddy are looking out the door, and the little girl and tiny reindeer are running through the snow. The end. I love that story. You can get it in your library. So, we're done with our story time. I wish you a good night's sleep. Give yourself a hug. And yeah, if you're happy and you know it, give a hug. Yourself or somebody else. If you're happy and you know it, give a hug. If you're happy and you know it, your heart will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, give a hug. If you're happy and you know it, blow a kiss to the universe. If you're happy and you know it, blow a kiss. If you're happy and you know it, your heart will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, blow a kiss. If you're happy and you know it, wink your eye. Wink, wink. Remember, a wink is one eye, a blink is two eyes. If you're happy and you know it, give a wink. Means you're sharing a secret. If you're happy and you know it, your heart will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, wink your eye. Wink, wink. If you're happy and you know it, call out sweet dreams. Sweet dreams. If you're happy and you know it, call sweet dreams. Sweet dreams. If you're happy and you know it, your heart will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, call sweet dreams. Sweet dreams. And I wish you sweet dreams and wonderful sleep and a very happy day in the morning. Good night, sleep tight, and I will see you in January. And until then, remember this: you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.